Imagine yourself hanging upside down, with only seconds to decide between life and death. Jordan was just starting out as a park ranger when he found himself in this exact moment. What happened next would set the stage for a story of survival and an unbreakable connection, one that would come full circle in the most unexpected way. Jordan was new to the job, eager to prove himself as a park ranger. But being the rookie came with its challenges. The older rangers didn't make it easy, often teasing him with playful jabs and assigning him the least desirable tasks. "Hey, Jordan," one of them said with a smirk, "don't forget to clean the ATV tires after your shift. You wouldn't want to upset the wildlife with dirty wheels." Another chimed in, pointing to the stack of gear in the corner. "And while you're at it, rookie, make sure the tents are folded perfectly. You've got to impress the squirrels, right?" The others chuckled, and while Jordan felt the sting of their jokes, he never complained. He was determined to show them he had what it takes. Deep down, he just wanted to make a difference because, for as long as he could remember, the wilderness had been his sanctuary. Growing up in a small town with few friends, Jordan spent most of his time exploring the forests near his home. Those woods weren't just a playground, they were a refuge. When life got hard, the towering trees and gentle rustle of leaves gave him a sense of peace nothing else could. His parents had struggled to make ends meet, and Jordan often felt invisible in the chaos of their lives. But the outdoors, it never ignored him. It never judged him. It was there, always steady, always welcoming. Becoming a park ranger wasn't just a career for him. It was a way to give back to the wild places that had given him so much. Jordan dreamed of protecting the rugged beauty of the Rocky Mountains that had protected him. To him, those towering peaks and endless forests weren't just a landscape. They were alive, full of stories and secrets worth preserving. And though the teasing from the older rangers stung, he told himself it was worth it. Because every step he took in those woods, every task he completed, brought him closer to his goal: to be a guardian of the wilderness. One evening, a section of trail cameras near the cliffs went offline. The older rangers exchanged glances and shrugged, muttering excuses about early mornings and bad weather. Jordan, eager to prove himself, volunteered without hesitation. The drive to the cliffs was long and winding, the road illuminated only by his truck's headlights slicing through the darkness. As the vehicle rumbled to a stop, Jordan stepped into the cold mountain air, the silence pressing against him like a living thing. His flashlight flickered over the chewed cable, a clean break, likely the work of a curious animal. He replaced it quickly, then set up his tent at the edge of the forest, the cliffs looming in the distance like silent sentinels. At dawn, the crackle of his radio startled him awake. 2 hikers were reported missing, last seen heading toward the cliffs. The voice on the other end was urgent, instructing Jordan to begin a search immediately. Heart-pounding, he grabbed his binoculars and climbed the nearest hill, scanning the rugged terrain for any sign of movement. The minutes dragged as he moved methodically, calling out, but the cliffs held their secrets. Then relief came over the radio. The hikers had been found safe on another trail. "You're clear to return to base," the voice said. Jordan exhaled and turned to pack up, but something caught his eye. He froze, binoculars fixed on a distant spot near the edge of the cliff. There, a lynx lay motionless, its paw twisted unnaturally, trapped in what looked like a crevice. Her ribs were faintly visible beneath her fur, and even from afar, Jordan could sense her pain. His heart clenched as he radioed for assistance. The response was immediate but disheartening. The other rangers wouldn't arrive until late afternoon. The lynx didn't have that long. What would you do if you were in Jordan's position right now? Let us know in the comments. Warnings against climbing alone echoed in his mind, but Jordan didn't hesitate. Grabbing a rope from his truck, he secured it to a sturdy tree and began his descent. Every step sent small rocks tumbling into the abyss below, the sheer drop making his palms sweat. As he neared the lynx, his rope snagged on a jagged edge. The snap was deafening. For a moment, time stopped. Jordan dangled helplessly, the jagged cliffs mocking his every move. Gritting his teeth, he swung himself toward the cliff face and clawed for a handhold. Heart pounding, he hoisted himself up, his muscles screaming with effort until he reached the lynx. The sight broke his heart. Her golden eyes met his, filled with fear. but also a strange glimmer of trust. Her paw was wedged deep into the rock and the damage was severe. Jordan's hands shook as he carefully freed her, murmuring soft reassurances. He wrapped the lynx in his jacket, feeling her shiver against him as he carried her back to his vehicle. The ride to the vet was a blur of worry and determination, Jordan cradling her fragile body as he drove. Through the radio, he alerted the clinic of his arrival. He didn't know if she would make it, but he wasn't about to give up on her. Jordan rushed into the vet clinic, his jacket still wrapped around the injured lynx. The staff exchanged startled glances as he gently placed her on the examination table. The vet, after a careful inspection, delivered a mix of good and bad news. "She's pregnant," the vet explained, "which complicates her surgery. The medication she needs could harm her kittens." The vet immobilized her paw and provided a milder medication to ease her pain. Jordan agreed to care for her at his cabin until it was safe to proceed. In the quiet of his home, he watched as the lynx slowly grew to trust him, her wary eyes softening as she accepted his food and found comfort in the sanctuary he provided. Days later, the lynx went into labor, and Jordan stayed by her side as 3 tiny kittens entered the world. The vet, once they confirmed the kittens were stable, proceeded with the mother's surgery. During her recovery, Jordan cared for the kittens, feeding them every few hours. Though the time was brief, the lynx family bonded with Jordan, treating him almost as one of their own. Once the mother regained her strength, Jordan knew it was time to let them go. With mixed emotions, he led them to the cliffs and released them back into the wild. The mother lynx turned one last time, locking eyes with Jordan before disappearing into the trees with her kittens. Years passed by, and Jordan had become an experienced ranger with a passion for helping animals. His rookie days were long behind him, and he had earned the respect of his peers. But nature had a way of testing even the most seasoned guardians. After several days of relentless rain, Jordan set out to patrol a remote area of the park to check for flooding. Suddenly, the earth beneath him gave way in a violent mudslide. Jordan grabbed a tree, clinging desperately as the ground shifted and roared. But the force was too great. He slipped, the mud swallowing him whole, leaving only his head above the surface. Trapped and immobilized, he could do nothing but hope for rescue. As he lay there helpless, a movement caught his eye. A familiar silhouette emerged through the rain. A lynx, her golden eyes piercing the chaos. It was her. The lynx he had saved all those years ago. Unable to approach due to the sticky mud, she stood at a distance, her gaze steady and unwavering. Jordan felt a wave of comfort, knowing she was there. But then she turned and disappeared. For a moment he felt abandoned and he wondered if he would escape this situation alive. And then he heard the faint voices of rangers calling his name. The lynx had gone to find help, leading the team of rangers to his location. Recognizing her scars, they followed her through the treacherous terrain to where Jordan was trapped. The team worked quickly, freeing him from the mud as the lynx watched, her watchful eyes never leaving him. Though he suffered fractures and bruises, Jordan was alive. As the rangers escorted him to safety, the lynx remained nearby, a silent guardian ensuring her human friend was safe. Jordan's recovery was slow but steady. During his convalescence, he often reflected on the incredible series of events that had unfolded. His act of compassion in saving the lynx had come full circle, resulting in his own rescue. The lynx continued to thrive in the wild, often spotted by rangers who now considered her a guardian of the park. The story of Jordan and the lynx became a legend, inspiring all who heard it. It was a reminder that kindness, whether toward humans or animals, will come back to us in ways we never expect. In our next story, a man forms an unbreakable bond with a lion cub he rescues. Stay tuned to witness how this extraordinary friendship stands the test of time.